brother Naheem, BKA Lord Abba, aka Mr. Just the Facts. Make sure y'all hit the like button, share the video out. If you would like to support the platform, you can use the super chat feature. You can also cash app us, $ be the power. You could also donate directly via our website, usadof.org. We also have a PayPal link in the description. Shout out to the family that's in the building. We're going to talk about, just briefly, I'm going to talk about the Nicki Minaj, Michael B. Jordan, Juve Rum situation. I'm not going to stay too long on that. Shout out to ASAP Poppy in the chat, DG Films. Somebody got a critique already named G-Man Kondo. Says more divide and conquer BS. When will our people learn? I don't know if that's a critique towards us or, the situation. Usually these critiques are levied at us for pointing out the divide and conquer stuff. We point it out, we get accused of it. So that's how I'm going to take it, unless this brother comes on and clarifies who he's going at. But again, share the video out, family. Click like. If you are not subscribed to the channel, hit the subscribe button. Hit that little bell icon next to the subscribe button so that you can become a part of the notification nation. So, we definitely got a powerful discussion tonight. But, I'm going to start with the little Nicki Minaj, and it's not really my cup of tea because it's almost like celebrity gossip, but that's not the purpose of why we're covering it. We don't do celebrity gossip over here. We don't harp on celebrities over here on Be the Power. Shout out to the brother Rashard Singleton. I'm rocking the brother's shirt right now. He's running the National Reparations League. He came and spoke at our successful reparations rally for Juneteenth this past Friday in Atlanta, Georgia. So, Nicki Minaj is a Trinidadian, right? So let's get into this. I'm gonna go to the New York Times article. Let's pull this thing up. ASAP Poppy said it ain't gossip. G, it needs to be discussed. Yeah, because there's a tribal element here where everybody gets to take from us. And that's okay. Everybody gets to take from us. A person from Trinidad gets to come over here and become a hip-hop star and then complain about cultural appropriation. Interesting. Very interesting. Eating off of Freedman heavy, as Abdi Usman said, and as he said earlier, we need to disaggregate. He said FBA/Freedman must disaggregate ASAP. And we're working on that. California, shout out to the family of California. They're leading the way. They have a bill speaking to that, recognizing our people as a distinct ethnic group, because we are. We are. So let me pull let's pull this article up. Okay, it says, this is from the New York Daily News. After Nicki Minaj points out cultural appropriation, Michael B. Jordan apologizes and renames Juve Rum venture. We always have to apologize, right? For every little thing. If you're a comedian and you make a joke about the LGBT community, you got to go on a whole apology tour. Especially black men. Especially black men. Black man cheats on his wife. He has to go on a whole apology tour. I call it simping in a way that when you're, remember them old shows where you sit on the seat and people come up and they throw the ball at the bullseye and you got to get dunked in the water every time. That's what it seems like to me. That's what it seems like to me. But we always have to apologize for every little thing, even when we're not being offensive. We got to come out and apologize for it. It's crazy. You know, if you do something wrong, you should apologize. Don't get me wrong, but it's just odd that every little thing we do has to be put under a microscope, and then we have to turn around and give apologies for it. So let's read this article. Michael B. Jordan is apologizing for an act of seemingly unintentional cultural appropriation. I'm going to pull up a Tariq Nasheed tweet. And on that tweet, Sister Wani, shout out to Sister Wani, she posted an interesting meme that I'm going to read from. It continues, the Black Panther star has come under fire for naming his new rum venture, J'ouvert Rum, which shares the name of a Caribbean celebration that marks the start of Carnival. Since unveiling the new rum brand, Jordan was met with blowback from Trinidadian-born celebrities, most notably Nicki Minaj, who called on him to step away from using a culturally significant name to sell liquor. It's interesting. Culturally significant name to sell liquor. Y'all know I'm going to pull up some stuff. Y'all already know. Taking to Instagram to share the meaning behind J'ouvert, the quote-unquote stupid hoe rapper told the Daily News is funny. If y'all know about New York newspapers, especially the Post, and the Daily News has their white supremacy in them as well. It says the quote-unquote stupid hoe rapper told 142 million followers that she's giving Jordan the benefit of a doubt that he wasn't aware of the potential controversy. Damn, we got to, like, where are these people speaking up for us? When did Nicki Minaj say, no, that's not all right for what's her name, to play Harriet Tubman or to play Aretha Franklin? What's the African woman's name, y'all? Somebody type it in the chat for me. I'm getting a brain freeze right now. Cynthia Erivo, I got it. Cynthia Erivo. Now, where were these people at? Or that Daniel Kaluuya shouldn't play Fred Hampton? Where were they? We were out there saying it, and what did they say about us? They called us nativists. They called us xenophobes. So this is not xenophobe. We'll get into that. I'm sure MBJ didn't intentionally do anything he thought Caribbean people would find offensive, Nicki Minaj said. It's so funny. Nicki Minaj does a lot of things that our people find offensive, has said a lot of things. Didn't she say something about, in one of her rhymes, get up like Rosa Parks, or get up out my seat, go to the back like Rosa Parks, something like that? Highly offensive. Highly offensive. I'm not saying she didn't apologize. I just don't ever remember seeing the apology. So if she did, can somebody put that in the chat for me, please? Somebody put that in the chat for me. And shout out to everybody else that's just coming in. Let me see. Latoya Love Locks says, Michael B has low cultural esteem. He was definitely going to fold. Yeah. Smooth Bay says she came at Harriet Tubman and Malcolm X. Metro Customer said, since when is Nicki politically conscious? You know, she's, I guess, trying to protect her tribe. We guess, right? So I want to get to the tweet that she shared, though, the Instagram post. I want to read this. The ignorance is real. History lesson, y'all. So ignorance is how she described Michael B. Jordan naming the rum J'ouvert. And to me, I'm number one, I'm tired of all of these damn alcoholic beverages in the first place. Number one. But J'ouvert is a party. J'ouvert in New York City, we have nicknamed the Purge because it's a party, a parade, and somebody always gets shot and killed there. Multiple people shot and killed at the Juve Festival in New York. Every year, damn near. But let's read this thing. This is somebody named Zaria Ray. Juve, which can also be written and pronounced as Juve or Juve, is a broken down version of the French jour au vert, the morning time referred to as day open. Juve, also known as Juve, originated in Trinidad with the festivities of Canboulay, which was a time when sugarcane fields caught on fire and slaves were still forced to harvest the remaining crops before complete destruction. That event was reenacted and male slaves were mocked by their masters. However, after emancipation, the slaves mocked the masters, mocking them. The festival begins way before the crack of dawn and proceeds a little past sunup. It is the event that truly starts the main Monday and Tuesday Carnival street parade events in Trinidad. It was later adopted by other Caribbean islands. So it wasn't cultural appropriation when Caribbean islands adopted the whole tradition and ceremony of it. That wasn't cultural appropriation. It says as they experienced emancipation throughout different periods in history. It's not just about the name, it's what it represents pertaining to enslavement and freedom. So Nicki shared this person named T, where big up to this beautiful lady right here. She got it on point. Juve, Trinidad and Tobago, all who are lost, read and educate. Knowledge as well. So basically, they're accusing Brother Michael B. Jordan of being lost and ignorant, who needs to be educated. So, in addition, the Daily News article reads, a change.org petition demanding the 34-year-old sexiest man alive of 2020 to not trademark the name Juve amassed nearly 12,600 signatures. On Wednesday, Jordan issued an apology and, in reference to the growing backlash, confirmed he is in the process of renaming the brand. I just want to say on behalf of myself, my partners, our intention was never to offend or hurt a culture we love and respect and hope to celebrate and shine a positive light on. We hear you, yada, 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 yada. Now, if it was a guy in Trinidad that came out with the wine, if it was a guy in Trinidad that came out with a wine, let's say it was a wine called Juneteenth, wanted to honor our people's freedom here, it would have been celebrated all over the planet. We, meaning the descendants of freedmen, would have been celebrating the wine, except, of course, those of us who are aware and know that we won't stand for any cultural appropriation at all. This thing would have been celebrated. Like, let's be real. Sheila Jackson Lee and Ron Daniels and Cobra and Nancy Pelosi would have been taking shots of the Juneteenth wine. Our calls for cultural appropriation, to rename it, an apology, et cetera, would have gone unheard. We know that. We know that for a fact. We know that for a fact. So I want to pull this other article up. My brother Grimm made a point by bringing up Bacardi rum. I'm not gonna go through this whole thing, but I want to bring this up. The New York Times had an article that they published in 2008. Bacardi, the Puerto Rican rum that will forever be Cuban. Rum, revolution, romance, and the roots of modern globalization came together in a pistol-packing salsa dance of modern history in Bacardi and the Long Fight for Cuba, the biography of a cause. On one level, this book is the story of a great merchant family and its deeply intertwined relationship with the mysterious Caribbean island nation. But it is also a story of the still resonating conflicts between capitalism and nationalism. Capitalism, communism, and nationalism, imperialism, freedom, and tyranny. So there's one quote in here that I want to read from. Let me see. Okay, bottles of white Bacardi currently sold in the United States are labeled Puerto Rican rum, and their contents are produced by the world's largest distillery in San Juan. But the Bacardi family is not from Puerto Rico. This family company for nearly a century was Cuban. Cubanismo, in fact, Cuban to the nth degree. So basically, this article is breaking down how Puerto Rican rum from Bacardi is Cuban. I've not seen this cancel sentiment, this petition from Cubans going at Puerto Ricans, telling them that they stole their rum. In fact, I'm willing to bet that Cubans still enjoy the Puerto Rican rum. And there's a reason why I make that contrast. I make that contrast because when it comes to us, particularly Black Americans, Black men, we get the brunt of the ills of this society. We get the short end of the stick. We get everything piled upon our shoulders. And I believe that that's what this was with Michael B. Jordan. On Clubhouse, we find the diaspora wars. When I was on Sister Dr. Ma'at's platform, I brought up Clubhouse and the diaspora wars. And people in the chat were saying, and I believe Asa Imhotep said it, I'm not sure, don't quote me on this, that we can't judge all of how Africans think by who's on Clubhouse. I tend to disagree. Today I was on Clubhouse and they were having a discussion. I jumped in for a few, and I talked about growing up in New York City and being on Sanetta's channel. Because I had to call my brother Sanetta out on this before, when we was rocking with the ADOS movement many, many moons ago. And he was trying to come at that movement. And I was like, yo, it's so funny, Sanetta, that for years you've put up videos on your channel talking about how the Africans hate us. Years you've said that. I had to question him on that. He had to admit it. I brought that up today. I brought up how the brother Phil, whose channel is now the African Diaspora Network, I believe he sent the camera crew to some country in Africa, which country I can't remember at the time, and asked, do they feel like family with African Americans? Most of the people said no. They said they're their own people over there. They are American. Most of the people. Most. Shout out to everybody that just came in the chat. I see everybody. I see everybody. So, y'all know when I'm more about myself, I can't necessarily see the comments too tough. Dreadway said it was Kenya. You see? So we have to speak to this thing. And we have to call out the same. Remember last year, that same movement that I spoke about called out Adele for appropriating Jamaican culture. She had on a Jamaican bikini top in the Jamaican flag with Bantu knots in her head. We called that cultural appropriation. The Africans and Jamaicans came at us on Twitter like crazy. This one guy put up this crazy divisive thread. It's still up too. We had to go in there and school this guy. We had to go in there and school him, but had thousands of likes and retweets. It was a diss towards African Americans. Where are these people at now? Going at Nicki Minaj. Because like I said, if somebody from Trinidad had created a Juneteenth wine, it would be celebrated. That's just a fact. It would be celebrated. So I wanted to touch on that a little bit because we closing ranks. we are closing ranks, man. We are definitely closing ranks, and we're not trying to hear it anymore. I do want to pull up one more thing before I get off of here. So let me pull this up. Let me pull this up. This Tariq Nasheed tweet right here. Speaking of cultural appropriation, brother Tariq Nasheed posted this tweet. Nicki Minaj criticized a foundational Black American, Michael B. Jordan, of culturally appropriating Trinidadian culture because of the name of his Juve rum line, which is actually a French word. It is. But Nicki appropriated the entire persona of a foundational Black American, Lil' Kim. And that's just a fact. Everybody comes here and culturally appropriates our stuff, appropriates our culture. And they do it with pride and with their chest out. And they dare anybody to speak about it. This is funny. Y'all know that brother Tariq is a comedian. He has a can called Bussy Spray. I'm ready for the barbs. Hilarious. So, yeah, and it's crazy. The male barbs, or what he would call the Bussy crew, came on his thread and was going at him more than the women were. I'm like, my goodness, this is crazy. But shout out to my sister Wani, because she put this on that thread. Let me see. Okay. And first shout out to Sister Wani, because she is the only African American, I don't know if it's male or female, and she could correct me on that one, that has traveled to every country in the United States. I mean, every country on the planet. Every single country. That needs to be celebrated. So she put this meme up. Trinidad culture, rum. Sugarcane was first cultivated in New Guinea and first fermented as early as 350 BC in India. Juve, a French Creole word. Juve, an early morning ritual that ushers in the first day of Carnival. Carnival, a Catholic Lent festival. I thought it was a perfect response. A perfect response. So this person that responded to the tweet positive, Lil Zard, said, things that African Americans started: potato chips, blood bank, home security system, box braids with the colors and without, soul, pop, R&B, rap, hip hop, country music, flat iron, curling iron, hair grease, hair gel, chili dogs, Nashville chicken, Jack Daniels, etc. Right? And let me see. Sister Wani posted a bunch of other stuff: Black American culture, soul, jazz, ragtime, country, moonwalk, the twist, boxing, football, Olympic gold medals, ice. Well, national sports title. I don't know if we actually started that, but these are things that we excel in, right? We excel in all of these things. Baseball became popular worldwide because of us, period. Basketball became popular because of us. Football became a national pastime in America next to baseball because of us, because of our participation. And it's simple as that. So we gotta gatekeep our culture, family. We gotta gatekeep our culture. You know, Abdi Usman says civil rights opened the door for us Somalis who came as refugees. Now, see, this is what I love, right? This is what I love, that when people acknowledge how they got here, this is how you do it. You don't thumb your nose at us. You say, if it wasn't for y'all, we wouldn't be here. Y'all's fight got us here. And now we fight with y'all. It's just as simple as that. So, you know, it is what it is, fam. We had to touch on that because we can no longer let stuff like that slide. We have to be vocal about it. And it's bad that a lot of our platforms are not interconnected. You know, some people got problems with some other people, and that happens, right? Some people may say some things and have said some things in the past. You know, I pray in the future that we can start to merge our platforms some and really start the process of pulling together as one. Because like I always say, I do this as a means to an end. The end is overall political power, point blank, period. I see the troublemaker Cato is in the chat. Peace, brother Cato. He said, I just went off on the mayor of Savannah, Georgia. That don't surprise us, brother Cato. Brother Cato been putting in that work, running up on them politicians. He ran up on some in Cobra narc group. I believe that was in South Carolina. Correct me if I'm wrong. But you know, and he lit fire under them. Y'all talking about the black vote matters. What about the lives of black people? What about that? Without reparations, how does anything matter? Because we're poor. South Carolina is poor. My aunt told me, I have a great aunt. I talked to her in December. She told me parts of South Carolina still look like the 60s. I put that on the thread and Cato responded, well, I would say it looked like the 1920s. I'm like, damn. So, you know, it is what it is. You know, like Fly Lily said, Nicki Minaj got rich off of a Black American art form. So she got some nerve, and that's a fact. Peace, Sister Brianna. Let me see. Let me pull up Cato's comment. I asked this man about why, and when he say this man, he means the mayor of Savannah, Georgia, why Savannah has a 54% black population, but 70% of the homeless population is black. The average black makes only $29,000, and we are 61% of those in poverty. See? This is why we got to take our politics back. You know what this man said to me? He said, well, most of our council is black. Wow. Wow. I mean, look, you see, this is why. All right, let's get into the next leg of this conversation. Where do I want to start with this? Where? Let me see. All right, let's start here. I brought this up the other night. All right, wait, hold on. Cato said, then he kicked me out of the Zoom meeting when I asked him why he had a task force for LGBTQ, Hispanics, but not for the descendants of the people that built Savannah. Cato said he's shaking in rage right now. Don't worry, brother Cato. This is why we're building. You just gave us a new place to mobilize in. That's all. Now we Savannah, Georgia, South Carolina. I got a brother that hit me up from Houston. These are now places that we get to mobilize in. We get to shine the spotlight. So you remember that. And I wish that Zoom meeting was recorded. I wish it was recorded. If you can find, if it's recorded and they put it up on their YouTube channel or something, try to get it and download it and save it, because we're going to use that against them. We're going to show them that this is what the Democratic Party produces among black folk. A bunch of go along to get along folk that don't care about the plight of our people. And this segues into my next point, the next leg of this discussion, or as they would say in the news, the B block, the next block. Okay, let's go here. Let's go here. Go here with it. Now, I shared this article the other day. It's the New York Times. How Republican states are expanding their power over elections. In Georgia, Republicans are removing Democrats of color from local boards. They're removing black people. In Arkansas, they have stripped election control from county authorities, and they are expanding their election power in many other states. And this is a sister right here. You could tell she straight up Freeman. Looked like one of my great aunties in them. It says Lonnie Hills is in LaGrange, Georgia, with Republican-led legislators mounting an expansive takeover of election administration in a raft of new voting bills this year. Local officials like Ms. Hollis have been some of the earliest casualties. Lonnie Hollis has been a member of the Troup County Election Board in West Georgia since 2013. A Democrat and one of two black women on the board. She has advocated Sunday voting, helped the voters on election days, and pushed for a new precinct location at a black church in a nearby town. So Ms. Lonnie Hollis is what you would call boots on the ground. But this year, Ms. Hollis will be removed from the board, the result of a local election law signed by Governor Brian Kemp, a Republican. Don't let nobody fool y'all into believing that these people are on our side. They're not. They are not on our side at all. Can we work together on things like immigration? Sure. But will they be willing to give and bend? Their racial hatred is so deeply embedded that I doubt that they will. But it's politics. It's politics. Let me continue. It says, let me see. She said, I speak out and I know the laws. Ms. Hollis said in an interview, the bottom line is they don't like people that have some type of intelligence and they know what they're doing because they know they can't influence them. You just heard Brother Cato say he just got kicked out of a Zoom meeting. So the same thing is going on. The same thing is going on. I think the OG Otis is being facetious here. Mayor was spot on. He said, you get the politicians you elect. What the problem is? And, well, you know, I would say this, right? You elect somebody to come in and do a job and they start doing something else, start speaking something else, as Jamal Bowman and Corey Bush did. Then, like Cato said, I told him he was a sellout and just a blackface and a high place. And eventually, the left wing of politics then mirrors the right wing of politics. That marinate for a minute. The left wing of politics, in this case, mirrors the right wing of politics. When you're smart and you know what you're talking about, they don't want you around. They don't want you around. So let's go to this next article. Georgia. It says, this is from CNN Politics, voting rights under attack. Georgia removes 100,000 names from voter registration rolls. This was published on Juneteenth. More than 100,000 names will be removed from Georgia's voter registration rolls in an attempt to keep the state's voter files, quote unquote, up to date. Georgia's Secretary of State announced on Friday. Making sure Georgia's voter rolls are up to date is a key to ensuring the integrity of our elections. There are no problems before the elections. There are no problems. In fact, the same Secretary Raffensperger said that the Georgia elections during the 2020 elections was some of the secure that the state had seen in a very long time. In a very long time. What's the issue here? What is the issue here? So let me see. Let me put that link in the chat. Cato said, I told him karma would get him for selling out his people. Nah, brother Cato, not karma, us. Like I said, you just gave us a whole new place to start shifting our focus to, because I didn't know those numbers. And after I get off this live stream, I'm going to start looking into the demographics of Savannah. And we're going to make that mayor, I don't know how many terms he has, but we're going to make sure that he doesn't get another one. It's just as simple as that. And that comes with us doing our job as a new boots on the ground advocacy group. Remember what Fox News and the right wing did to Akon? Buried them. I mean, there was nothing wrong with Akon. Nothing. The Fox News and the right wing destroyed them. But see, when you're tied to the Democrats and the liberal agenda in the way that Akon was, that's pretty easy. When we come as the descendants of freedmen, you can't do that. You can't. It's like that monster that was created in that Superman, Batman movie. The more you shoot at it, the more powerful it seems to get. It absorbs the energy. And that's exactly what we're going to do with every passing hit and attack on us, coming from them, coming from the bootlicks among us, the sellouts, and our own people who pretend like they're fighting for reparations. Keep shooting at us. Y'all just making us stronger. Shout out to the professor, Dr. William Sandy Darity. Gotta give that man a shout out. Him and his wife, A. Kirsten Mullen, for the stellar reparations work that y'all are putting in. Let me pull up this other article. Because remember, a few months ago, I was speaking about H.R. 1, and some people in the chat had a problem with that. I didn't. I actually read through it's a large bill, so I ain't going to even say I read through a good portion of it, but I read through the bill, and I understood the parts that I did read. I understood where they were going with the bill. Like most bills, it has a lot of stuff that you could go, but I understood the purpose of it. Because if you don't have something at the federal level to stop what these states are doing, then, I mean, how do you win? How do you win? I'm going to get into that. Senate Republicans block Democrats' sweeping voting ethics bill. I actually supported H.R. 1. I did. I believe that it was something that should have been passed. And let's read some of the bullet points, and I'm not going to stay on this long. Senate Republicans blocked the sprawling Democratic voting rights and government ethics bill Tuesday. Democrats have called the For the People Act necessary as GOP-led state legislatures pass a string of restrictive voting laws, while Republicans have framed it as a federal takeover of elections. So basically, the GOP, the Neo-Confederates, that's what they are. That is what they are, Neo-Confederates. They have a new campaign. I'm going to get to that. Basically, what they're saying is the same things they were saying during slavery and Reconstruction, that we want to draft our laws the way that we want them, and that the government has no right to interfere, even if it handicaps citizens within our states. The federal government is supposed to be the overseer of all the states, period. The states are merely but subsidiaries to the federal government. The states derive their power from the federal government. This is why they don't want a real freedman in office. They don't want one of us in office. Oh, no. Oh, a lot of things will change. A lot of things will change. Yeah, I'm going to check that Dr. Darity interview. I just haven't gotten around to come through it yet. I'm putting some things together for the United Sons and Daughters of Freedmen. So, but let me pull up. Hold on. Let's keep this page up. Let's pull up Ron DeSantis. Let's pull this up. Oh, man. Let me see. I want to find a juicy headline. Here we go. See if y'all can see that. Oh, these pop-ups is crazy. This is on The Guardian. See, can y'all see that? Okay, y'all can. Okay, it says backlash after Florida governor signs bill against indoctrination at colleges. Republican Ron DeSantis claims university campuses are intellectually repressive environments. I had to look into this thing, family. They are going to screen students about their political leanings. They're going to start screening students about their political leanings. If your school leans what they consider too far to the left, then they're going to cut the budget of your school. The state portion of that budget will be cut drastically. This guy's vying to run for president in 2024. He's trying to outdo Trump. Let me see. The attack on CRT is really a ban, well, really an attack on the ban that is the teachings of white supremacy and the lost cause. That's what it is. This guy is requiring that the colleges teach communism, which is a played out subject. He said he heard from parents that they felt, the parents, that the schools were too liberal in their teachings. And that they were being indoctrinated. This is the new term that they're using. Watch it. Listen for it from here on out. A buzzword, this catchphrase, indoctrinated, indoctrination. So teaching about the brutalities of slavery in America is being called indoctrination by these nefarious humans. Teaching communism, oh, that's not bad. Teaching the history of the wickedness of white supremacy in this country is bad, and that's indoctrination. What studies show is that people with higher educations seem to lean liberal. Why? Within liberalism, there is a fight for causes, equal rights, civil rights, and it doesn't matter whether it's black or LGBT, Hispanic, immigration, yada, yada, yada. That's liberalism. What happens is that when people go into higher education and they start studying American history and social studies, and they start looking at how other civilizations fell, and they begin to intellectually view the course of America, they then see the facade for what it is. They begin to see, even as white people, that white supremacy is a bad thing. Did you see Matt Gaetz from the same place, Florida, questioning that general the other day at that hearing? I don't know if it was about CRT. I can't remember what that hearing was about. But the general basically said, I want to know what CRT is. I want to know what white rage is about. I want to know the mind state of the people that attacked this Capitol. Yeah. Shocked Matt Gaetz. He didn't know what to do. He was just sitting there shaking his head. And dude was like, and I'm white. See, this is what happens at the collegiate level. If you look at, I took some notes, man. If you look at the election maps by state, and I was looking at several articles and news clippings of this earlier, you will see that wherever there's a college, that county will almost always go blue. I live in one. A county that has a college that always goes blue. In 7 of the last 8 elections, the Republican Party has lost the popular vote. But the other racist institution, the Electoral College, ensures them power in America. It's no different than with the filibuster. In fact, almost anything you see Neo-Confederates fighting to maintain has its rooting in what's called the slave power. See, we do political education over here, family. We do political education over here. And what we're witnessing right now to all of you black conservatives, and this goes for you all, I don't care if we know each other, we cool. You think that when these people obtain the power that they're fighting for, which is to really run a fascist state, that they're going to care about you? Hell no. They're not going to care about you. And we, those of us who know better, have to be careful to not, well, I don't think us necessarily, but we have to also fight against the liberal aspect of it, to whereas they politicize it and make critical race theory something that is inclusive of every other group like they do with everything else. That's the case, then change it to critical discrimination theory. Then your argument would be better politically. So let me see. I wanted to I want to pull up something real quick. Y'all know we're battling. We're battling, and our Southern strategy to bring our people back to the South, I believe, is the only way that we get this thing going. Now, remember, I spoke about higher education, right? So let's this is from the Pew Research Center. The growing partisan divide in views of higher education. There was a video compilation done. Man, I wish I could have thought of it early. I did think of it, and I got to put my little notes together and forgot to try to find it, actually. And if the video compilation was compiled by politicians and Trump supporters dumping on the highly educated, saying that people with college degrees are elitists. And yet, these are the same people that say they don't need reparations. All they need is education. This is a Pew Center research article showing the growing partisan divide in views of higher education. Americans see value in higher education, whether they graduate from college or not. Most say a college degree is important, if not essential, in helping a young person succeed in the world, and college graduates themselves say their degree help them grow and develop the skills they need for the workplace. Now, we know that Dr. Darity and A. Kirsten Mullen in the book From Here to Equality, Reparations for Black Americans in the 21st Century, point out that college degrees, particularly among Black women in comparison, single Black women in comparison to single white women, hell, single white women's wealth is, I can't remember the number offhand, but I think it's double or more that of a married Black couple's wealth. But yet and still, we honor education. We understand the importance of it. This is why we're going to be launching Freedman University soon as an online portal of Freedman history and American history, particularly as it relates to us from then up until now. We will counter PragerU. That's what the United Sons and Daughters of Freedmen was established for in the first place, to counter the Sons of the Confederacy, to counter the Daughters of the Confederacy, to counter these organizations and their lost cause teachings. It says, even so, there is an undercurrent of dissatisfaction, even suspicion among the public about the role colleges play in society, the way admission decisions are made, and the extent to which free speech is constrained on college campuses. And the views are increasingly linked to partisanship. You see, the battle with the Neo-Confederates is they want to be able to go to college campuses and take all the white kids and make them Confederate flag-waving members of Neo-Confederatism. And the fact that many colleges will not allow this, they see as an attack on their free speech. And now that they are passing legislation all over the place, they're starting to win. If you look at this chart, increase in the share of Americans saying colleges have a negative effect on the U.S. is driven by who? Republicans changing views. And they show these charts that show how in 2012, this view was only at 35%. But today, or up until 2019, it's at 59%. Now, look at it among Democratic and those who lean Democrats. Steady, positive, 67%, 70, 72%. Only low negative. Go back to those among Republicans or leaning Republicans, it was 53% back in 2012, and it dipped to 33%. This is the result of Fox News, of PragerU, of a right-wing propaganda. These people are basically creating the Hitler Youth in America right now. We are witnessing the Nazification and reconfederatization of America right before our very eyes. See, the last time the freedmen's power was held up in the hands of the liberals, we didn't know how to navigate our way through politics in the way that we do now. Now we are far more educated, far more politically active. And those that are not as politically active among our group, our ethnic group, are at the minimum more politically aware. We just have to do their jobs to get them to the polls for our issues. Scroll down some, the part that I highlighted. Let's scroll down. It says a new Pew Research Center survey finds that only half of American adults think college and universities are having a positive effect on the way things are going in the country these days. About 4 in 10, 38% say they are having a negative impact, up from 26% in 2012. The share of Americans saying colleges and universities have a negative effect has increased by 12 percentage points since 2012. The increase in negative views has come almost entirely from Republicans and independents who lean Republican. Most independents lean Republican. Make no mistake about it. Most independents lean Republican. I peeped that years ago. Years ago. From 2015 to 2019, the share saying colleges have a negative effect on the country went from 37% to 59% among this group. Over that same period, the views of Democrat and independents who lean Democratic have remained largely stable and overwhelmingly positive. The smarter you are in the United States of America, the more liberal you are going to lean. I'm going to reinterpret liberal in the sense to say the more you'll sympathize with the plight of, if I can speak to us specifically, well, I'm going to speak to us specifically of the freedmen. I'm going to speak to us specifically. So when we are looking at this propaganda being pushed by the Neo-Confederates, i.e., or e.g., the Republican Party, then we gain an understanding, a deeper understanding into their mindset. This was on full display during, I want to say that's Comedy Central, where this guy, I don't know, his last name may be Kepler, and he would go out to the Trump rallies. And he would show just how idiotic these people are. Just show that they lack any real, not just education, but critical thinking skills. They weren't even savvy enough to see how they were being played by the person that was interviewing them. It was brutal watching it. It was funny at the same time. And I'm like, these are the people that run the country. The Neo-Confederates, the Republicans, have a vested interest in keeping their base dumbed down. It's as simple as that. So now they fight against higher education. They fight against anything that will strip them of power. H.R. 1 is a bill that strips them of the power to discriminate against voters in their state. The filibuster. The filibuster was used successfully when it was to negate any legislation that would have helped improve our people. Simple. It's clear. Anything that strips them of their power, anything that strips them of their power, they are against. Period. But I got my brother Josh on. But before Josh, I want to bring up something. I want to bring up two things before Josh comes on. I want to go to the exit polls. Let's go to the exit polls. 2020. Because the proof is in the pudding. 50% of people with no college degree voted for Trump, while 55% voted for Biden. All right, let's do our keyword search through this education by race. White voters, college degree. 51% voted for Biden, 48% for Trump. White voters, no college degree. Only 32% for Biden, 67% for Trump. Voters of color with a college degree, 70% for Biden. Voters of color, no degree, 72%. So we know which demographic is being represented, and voters of color, no degree. Our people. Our people. It's like it's clear what's going on, that they want to dumb down their society. They don't want their children to learn about slavery and the history that their people, the atrocities, the history of the atrocities that their people committed on our people, they are attempting to sanitize the history. Close that out. I want to pull this up. Donald Trump is working on a new slogan. He's working on a new slogan. And the slogan is called Take Back America. Take Back America. Let me share this screen. Somebody posted this on Twitter and
Hey, my bad, brother. Can I just add one little piece to that? I saw something where he was saying that the African Americans they hate me or something like.
I'm
Did you see
pulling that up. I got that queued up to pull up. You already know.
And we on the same vibe, man. We ain't even do our usual build to talk about like we normally do. We just already on the same vibe. Go ahead, then. Bro.
Everybody been busy. I know everybody got little family and business and a bunch of stuff going on right now. So I'll come on here and do my best to try to hold it down. So this guy posted this article as this term "Take Back America" began to trend on Twitter, family. Hey, Muffin Nellin, reach back out to me, brother, because for whatever reason, I didn't lock your number in my phone. Send me a text when you hear this. Let's share this. Let's blow this up a little bit for those that can't see it. This guy said, I know where I heard this before. So matter of fact, let me see if did I take notes of that in my notes? Okay, so it was the name of a large 1989 neo-Nazi rally held in Pulaski, Tennessee, to honor the memory of the Confederacy. Remember, Make America Great Again was Ronald Reagan's slogan, and we knew the implications behind that. And this was the flyer. Terrific color footage of a huge white heritage march held in Tennessee in 1989, preceded by rousing oratory from Louis R. Beam, Michael Hoffman, Harold Covington, and others. And then they're telling you how to buy and how to, I guess, donate, et cetera, et cetera. But that's what this is, family. Let me zoom out a little bit. Help awaken your friends with facts, cold hard facts. Remember, these people are trying to rewrite history. They are trying to keep alive and well the lost cause teachings, which basically says slavery wasn't a bad thing. We treated the Negroes good. They had clothing and they were fed and they were able to work. And we even gave them breaks, 1 or 2 days out of the year from working sun up to sundown around the clock. Wasn't that bad. This is what they want to teach their children so that they can start to breed the next generation of Neo-Confederates. They're not too far off from it. So I want to share this article, and I'm going to bring my brother Josh on, the very article that he just spoke about, because I got to ask some questions to you black conservatives, because y'all don't make no sense to me. None of you. You even know what conservatism means? If you knew what conservative means, then I don't. Well, the Republicans like their big stupid. I guess that goes for the black ones as well. I got to call it how I see it. So this is from the news site Insider. Trump complained that black voters all effing hate me, and none of them are going to vote for me after he'd done all of this stuff for them, book says. So somebody's writing a book. So let me read through these bulletin points. Trump blamed Jared Kushner for criminal justice reform. not improving his standing with black voters. Trump lamented that, quote, none of them are going to vote for me, end quote, according to the book by reporter Michael Bender. So we don't even got to go there. And I want to say, let me put that in the chat. Imagine if Trump got back in power. What do you think is going to happen to black folk? I believe that Trump understood that he needed a portion of the black vote. This is my opinion here. I believe that he believed that. I think he started to see a lot of black conservatives that came on board with his message. Black people, and we have to be honest, that are not into a lot of what liberalism is now about. That believes in traditionalism, family, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. The problem with Trump was, besides him just being already racist and a white supremacist, he had greater racists and white supremacists that were more politically savvy than him, telling him, no, don't do this. Go back and look at his response to reparations. You can tell it was contrived. It wasn't full-throated like Mitch McConnell. To me, it was just like, like you could tell somebody told him, say no to reparation. I picked that up. So, Brother Josh, what are your thoughts on this? First, let me say, I started off, I don't know how much of the stream you caught. I started off with the whole Nicki Minaj, Michael B. Jordan, cultural appropriation thing. And now, I'm talking our talk, of course. And that's our talk, too, because everybody culturally appropriates us. And I guess we're supposed to be quiet about it, but you name some rum after some French word out of the Caribbean, and Trinidadians go crazy. What are your thoughts on all this, brother?
Well, I don't even want to get into that because I didn't really educate myself on that whole situation. I can't wait to go back and watch your breakdown on it because I'm sure it was on point. What I would say in regards to that is,
hold on. You're right, comedian Senator P. Well, we don't do the Democratic part. We're not Democrats, Republicans, liberals, or conservatives. We are reparationist freedmen or freedmen reparationists over here. So I just want to clear that up real quick. Go ahead, Brother Josh.
Yeah. In regards to Nicki and Michael B. Jordan, it's interesting how we always got to revisit this from time to time. The flattening of blackness is like we all black the same. Oh, wait a minute, don't have some type of lack of understanding of Trinidadian culture. But when it comes down to something where some nuance of understanding is involved, now you just a dumb freedman.
Hold on.
Don't know what's going on.
Hold on, because I didn't look into the details. My bad, Brother Josh, but several people is posting this in the chat. Michael B. Jordan was just an investor. It's a white-owned company. I didn't look deeper into the company. So if that's the case, then why the hell is Michael? Let me say, I wouldn't apologize for nothing. Let me just say real quick, Josh, I wouldn't have apologized for a damn thing. I wouldn't have changed nothing. I don't even care to put, how much more liquor do our people need anyway?
That's right.
How much more? Damn, we find it's just like selling crack to me and selling drugs in the hood. But just name the rum Creole. That's all. There's a name for Michael B. Jordan. Just name it Creole. Sound better than Juve anyway. But go ahead, brother Josh.
Yeah, me personally, I don't care. I don't think too many freedmen care. We just kind of getting dragged into caring about all that because of some other people up in arms. I don't really care. Do you? I don't know.
No. Well, what I care about, and is what I view as attack on particularly Black American men, and how when we do something, all the time we have to go on apology tours.
Yeah.
And then Nicki Minaj coming out and basically co-signing this post that basically called that brother ignorant. Yeah, like, and people, ASAP Pappy said it exposed the lie. And if I'm interpreting correctly, the lie that there's this greater diasporic unity. There is no greater, because if that was the case, then that wouldn't have mattered. Because I gave an example earlier, Brother Josh, that said if somebody in Trinidad came out with a wine called Juneteenth, it would be celebrated by everyone. We would be the only ones speaking against it, and everybody would be calling us xenophobic. So
that's right. Yeah.
That's the, like, the wine, the rum, or whatever. I don't really care about that, but that part we gotta speak to. That part we definitely gotta speak to.
I mean, nobody was saying. I didn't see. I mean, white folks came out with reparations beer. That's that was an interesting. You remember? And then Cobra and them was pushing that. So why the same people up in arms with whatever? Man, these people crazy, man. These people crazy. They come on, man. Like we don't. I don't really care. Let them do that. Let them. That's the wrong thing for us to even be giving attention to. Another thing is, like, Freedmen, a majority of the quote unquote Black folks here. So I better not see y'all jumping on that bandwagon, because really when they going at him, they're going at you in that regard. So that's all I got to say on that. But I did want to say, yeah. Oh, and another thing I'll say too. All of these drinks are gonna be white owned. A majority white owned and white founded. What else do you, or European founded and European owned? What else do you think is gonna happen? I mean, really, how many of these, like, long standing and well regarded vineyards do we really have? The places where they grow the grapes, or where they grow the materials to make this. How many factories do we have? How many, or do we have relationships to make these products? We don't really have that. And these are like dynasty type of operations. So I would suspect that the majority that you're going to find are going to be white founded, white owned, and everything else. All the whole aspects of that industry is going to be the same way. So if we were to get a piece of it, just like you see with Diddy or 50 Cent or Rick Ross and all these different people, they doing the same thing. Those are not going to be 100% Black owned or freedmen owned products and companies. It's not going to be that way. You need somebody else, because people are acting like we already got reparations generations ago, and now we got some class of producers. We don't. We have salespeople. That's why when you look at Black folks that are talking about, that are always saying, they're entrepreneurs. Most of the time, they have sales organizations, because you can partner with the company as a contractor and help them grow their business, and they'll pay you a commission or something like that, and a commission off of your whole organization. That's, you building a sales organizations. You're helping them. That's the same. So when people want to knock people for being and stuff like whatever MLMs, I mean, essentially, Diddy and all those people are the same thing. They're just salespeople. They just get a cut on the business, and they don't own the whole operation. They don't own the factory. They don't own the production facility. They don't own the farms. They don't own none of that. So that's just where we are. That's where we are, and it's gonna be like that until we do what's necessary to get justice and to get reparations in America. Trillions, 15, 14, was it 14 digits, a 14 figure sum paid out to our group.
That's right. I want to say shout out to the to the OG Otis. He sent me this article, and there actually is, I spoke about the Puerto Rican rum, Bacardi, which is Puerto Rican rum, being produced in Puerto Rico, but it's Cuban. There is actually some type of legal battle going on. But I think, my point was that we didn't see like this campaign, this ongoing campaign to see, you know, Puerto Rican rum not using that name based on the Cuban Bacardi family. But there is definitely some legal battle going on. Bacardi seeks U.S. reversal on Cuba license to sell rum. So I just want to add that in there because that there is some type of battle going on with that.
Can I say one more thing too?
Mm-hmm.
When we talking about cultural appropriation, nobody needs to come over here that has been participating in any type of entertainment or anything like that, and bring any type of charges on us for cultural appropriation, because 99 times out of 100, these people have been, participating in our culture and been doing culture, appropriating our culture. And we talk about freedman culture into whatever they're doing and coming up off of that. I don't care what it is. Whether it's using our lingo, using our style of dress, using our slang, using our accents, use everything. So where you don't know that this person is not a freedman. You don't know this person is not a freedman until the opportunity comes for them to play another, put on a different hat or put on a different mask, or I should say wash the makeup off and take the mask off. And then you say, oh, wait a minute, this person is not hot. Because let's use Nicki Minaj, for example. I mean, other than if you know who her real name was, if you listen to the music, yeah, she might shout it out or whatever. But it's nothing that really screams that really separates her from, or makes her stand out to like, nah, she's not no native black sister. To me, I don't know. And it's the effort that's put in to blend in that way is where I have a problem when you want to talk about appropriation. If you were an investor and you were investing in something, I don't care what it is, man. Like, it's all different. Like, if I were to invest in a Mexican restaurant, and I'm pushing that Mexican restaurant, am I a cultural appropriate? Is this? I don't know if my comparison is off, but it's people that invest in all kind of stuff that come from all different kind of cultures. Why is it that we can't do it? We only can invest in things that is supposed to be of our culture, but everybody else can invest in any type of business. Like, you go you go in like some of these shopping mall food courts, and you see like southern Louisiana style food, or fried chicken, but it be Asian owners. Is that cultural appropriation? Should they be shut down and all that? I mean, you can say that, but nobody gives them a problem. Nobody has a problem with anybody else. So what is the problem when it's time for us to capitalize off of other cultures? I don't get it. I know we was talking about Trump too. Did you want to get over to that, or did you want to?
Oh yeah, no, go ahead. Y'all flow. We got brother Ali on right now. Flow in. I just sent Otis the link. He wanted to come on.
Yeah. Peace, Ali.
Peace. What's good, y'all? I'm trying to connect my can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm trying to connect my earbuds to the phone. I'm gonna go out and come back in.
Okay. Well, yeah, I wanted to say in regards to that Trump. See, when I hear that the Black Americans hate me, what I hear is, see, when it was time for me to, I don't even think he was really trying to get our vote. I just think he was just trying to create enough of us that, that he can just siphon off just enough away from the Democrats to make whether we voted for him or not. to make him have a better chance of reelection. You know, um, and when I hear, well, they hate me, it's the same thing that the Democrats do. Oh, I think it's not the same method, but it's a similar. It's trying to get a similar result. He's trying to distance himself from us now. You know, before he was buddy buddy and trying to build some type of uh, affinity from us because he wanted our vote. Now he knows, like, he never really knew he was going to get our. He always knew he really wasn't get our vote, but he always wanted to try to at least create a more likelihood that maybe some of us wouldn't vote for Democrats. And now it's like, well, those Negroes hate me. Don't worry, I'm very unpopular with them. They don't like me. So when you want to vote, when you want trying to get votes, you always want to show that your enemy is my enemy too. You know, I hate who you hate too, and that is why he's saying that to white America now. It's signaling like, look, don't worry, I'm your top dog when it comes to reinstituting or maintaining, or I shouldn't say reinstitute, maintaining or advancing white supremacy in America. That's what I hear when I hear him say that. In the same way the Democrats try to just not mention us at all, you know, once they get elected.
Indeed, indeed. So we see what it is, family. We see what it is. We are this fight is multifaceted. You know, you look at what Cato said earlier about the mayor of Savannah in response to how can this city be predominantly black and yet its homeless numbers are more than anybody else's. And all of the different things that Cato said he ran down to the mayor of Savannah, and the mayor of Savannah's only comeback was, we got black people in our council. These people have no political answers. They're used to being smarter than the constituency. They, the liberals, especially the black Democrats, also rely on their base being as dumb. What do you think the whole attack about Russian bots and all of this stuff was about in the first place? Because they had to go back and listen to what everybody was saying. And then they realized, I mean, if you go back last year and look at our breakdown on HR 40 alone, and you're sitting there as a politician who is in line with Narcan and Cobra, you have to be sitting there like, damn, these guys went in. They know their stuff. What else are they talking about? Let me scroll through their videos and see, let me click on that one. Oh, wow, right? And that goes for the people in the reparationist movement in general. Like, we know what we're talking about. You're not just going to come in and tell us anything. That's why I'm glad Cato was on that Zoom call with that mayor of Savannah. Glad.
Shout out to Brother Cato.
Oh, yeah.
Always making his voice heard and causing a ruckus, man.
That's right. Even when it's in our chat sometime.
Oh yeah, man. I was just on a long day trip. I just got back and when I hopped on. Man, I'm gonna get on my laptop so I can share some pictures. But yeah, I mean, I went down to rural Southern Virginia where my family is from. My great grandparents were born. It's not, like right on the border of North Carolina is Mecklenburg County, Virginia. And when I tell you it's serious racist place there. You know, you drive the one part of the road, you see the Confederate flag raised up beside the Confederate battle flag, and then to the left of that, it's the flag of the Confederacy with the how many stars is it? I can't remember how many stars. Then you see the flag beside that that says "Don't tread on me." I'm like, damn, they're like, what flag can we get up here that let y'all know what we about? And they put all of them up there.
Yeah, hold on, Otis. I sent the link to your Twitter. I'm gonna share what you sent me from 2 years ago with Biden. I don't want people to think that we're on some, you know, some Democrat stuff. We ride on Biden. We probably rode on Biden on this platform harder than Trump over the years because he's president now over the past year and some change. So let me see.
And the reason why is because when we give you more to what is this? How does the phrase go? To more. What is it?
To whom much is given,
Much more is expected, or what is that? What it is?
to whom much is given, much is expected.
Yeah, we've given Democrats our vote. We've given them support. We've turned red states blue and red districts blue and all this kind of stuff. So
Fact.
that's why we have higher expectations. Yeah. I don't expect
Let me
nothing
read this
from the
real
devil.
quick,
Go ahead.
Josh. It says, Otis said the problem, this was from June 24th, 2019. The problem with Joe Biden's chummy politics, Nathan Robinson. Biden's career is best understood as what happens when a person who is not actively evil decides to prioritize chumminess and conformity over taking difficult moral stands. This week, Joe Biden attracted controversy after waxing nostalgic about working alongside segregationists in the Senate. After Cory Booker suggested Biden should apologize, Biden replied, apologize for what? And insisted that there wasn't a racist bone in his biting. Biden made it clear that he has no regrets. It wasn't the first time Biden has offered fond memories of Dixiecrat colleagues. He has consistently cited the era of racists like Strom Thurmond. You can be the best friend of everyone in Washington, or you can move the country towards justice, but you can't do both. And that's a fact. So that's Joe Biden. That's who we call Jim Crow Joe. But the link is in your Twitter inbox, Otis. So yeah. Brother Bob Sanders said, don't tread on me, country. It's 2 miles away from me in Chicago. It's crazy. It's crazy. Like this is what the times we living in.
Yeah.
We got
And
the OG
here go
Otis on. What's going on? Can you hear us?
Hey, can you gentlemen hear me? Can you hear me?
I can hear you, but you
Sound
kind of
low.
low.
Yeah, it's like muffled kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got not only muffling, you got it sounded like connection issues.
Okay, I think it's connected now. Can you hear me now?
I hear you, but it's really low.
super low.
Yeah, while we're waiting for Otis to reconnect, I think he's having a connection issue because that's what it's showing on the screen. We've always been in an uphill battle in this country. It's nothing new to us. Our calf muscles are built for this battle. It's as simple as that. And we can't ever, ever stop fighting. Ever. And we can't let these people rock us to sleep. There is a battle going on right now between the state legislative bodies in most of the states in the United States of America, where the Neo-Confederates control almost all of these bodies. They run the country at the local level. Make no mistake about it. This is why the back home strategy, or the Southern strategy, as we've dubbed it. We feel that it's the only thing that evens the playing field, gives us political power. I know some people don't want to leave their homes. I understand that. But since I've gotten into this movement, since I've since I've read Charles Blow's book, and we have done a deep dive into it, I no longer just look at myself as a New Yorker. I just look at myself as a freedman. I'm just a brother that was born in New York. You wanted to say something, Ali?
Oh, my bad, man. Well, I feel the same way. Now it's so funny because I was talking to a young lady who ordered some food from us yesterday, and as we were talking, I said to her, "Where's your family from?" She said, "Oh, she said, I think she said West Virginia or something like that." And I was like, "Oh, well, my people from South Carolina." Real interesting, but I identify like that as well now. You know what I'm saying? Not just like, oh, I'm from New York. I'm like, nah, my people from South Carolina and Georgia. You know what I'm saying? It's funny.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. So let's see if Otis is unmute yourself. Oh, no, we can't hear you at all now. Yeah, there's no sound. Yeah, Otis has some audio issues. I love having Otis come through and share his thoughts, man. That political wisdom helps keep us, you know, in elevation mode. So we love it. I hope he could get that issue fixed and come on. But yeah, like it's to the point where it's like you breaking up, Ali. What did you say?
My bad. I said, did you cover the Michael B. Jordan's piece
Oh
already?
yeah, yeah. I started off with that. I
Okay.
started off with that.
Okay. Okay.
So yeah, I just touched on it. I broke down some things. I gave an analogy about if some man in Trinidad or a company, whatever, started some wine, for instance, called Juneteenth, then it would be celebrated by everybody. Everybody would celebrate it, and I touched on that. Let's see if Otis. Yeah, go ahead, O.
All right, can you hear me now?
Oh, there you
Oh,
go.
you
There you
good
go.
now? Yeah.
Hey man, I can't quit. This technology shit got me all frustrated. But I said, okay, number three didn't work. I got about three more, and then let's try it again. Look, I've been tracking y'all. This is probably gonna take a little bit off course, but when I first met you gentlemen, it all came behind a hashtag called Voltron and all of that. And then I had a few conversations with y'all
Mhm,
in real life, apart from this virtual world. And I'm
mhm.
gonna tell y'all, every ounce of what I said to you was pure truth. But you gotta understand, it's almost like watching a wreck. Everybody's got a different position when they see this wreck. So you could tell me honestly what you saw from the right side, but I might have been on the left side and actually seen it when the wreck was coming up the street. Here's what I'm gonna say to y'all. I'm laughing now because regardless of what it took over the last 4 years, and I'll be 68 at the end of July if I'm fortunate enough to be here. I watched a 5-year transition from people talking about reparations is pure ignorance to it making the stage in a Democratic primary to now watching people complain about who's going to get credit for how it came to the forefront. And I'm giving an example. I spoke out strongly when I first came on the scene for Breaking Brown. And I made it plain every time I called in as this little country ass Negro that I am, that the reason I was there is because of the elements of truth about the veracity on the debt being owed and what it takes to get normal street people like myself to understand that. I don't give a shit about what went on in the halls of academia or none of that. Until you get the grassroots people to understand why there's no shame in saying to a government that sanctioned all the atrocities that all of these bright 10% could make money off, from the Oprah to the Ava DuVernays to the fucking Tyler Perry. Throw them in to show you how my mind works. I'm gonna get scattered here. Niggas telling me about T.D. Jakes and Tyler Perry and gobbled up another 134 acres of land down around Fort McPherson. So let me tell you something, Negroes. If you go back to 3 Mile Island and then look up Superfund sites, you'll find out that every fucking army post that's been around since the 1800s is nothing but a fucking brown zone, with shit that the military has contaminated the grounds with. And these niggas are proud to tell you that they down here going to put some shit on top of fucking a toxic waste dump and tell you that it's something good for your people. Let me explain something. I'm an old nigga, but I ain't no dumb nigga. We have to understand that to win this reparations fight, we have to be just as focused as these people like this Christopher F. Rufo that showed up and told you that he was going to make everything negative, anything positive said about black people, be associated with a negative attachment to critical race theory. I'm old enough to attract this shit for 4 or 5 years. So when people talk about who's this new guy, and I show them shit. No, this is here. Let me show you where I've been watching this guy for 3 or 4 years. I'm gonna say something to you. When you find out that the Woodson Center, run by an 89-year-old Negro, along with the people like that Trolling Martin, and then you find out people like Swain and PragerU has spent 3 or 4 years making sure that by the time the question of reparations reached the center stage in America, they would have 3 or 4 different fronts to attack it on, even using your own civil rights icons like Martin Luther King. They're going to explain to you what Martin Luther King was talking about. They even went in on their own President Johnson. When I watched the Latino girl explain how she was so moved when Lyndon Baines Johnson talked about coming up to the starting line. He ain't said a damn thing about Latinos. Let me tell you something. Y'all are some bright people, but I'm going to tell you, if we have learned anything from watching Yvette and Tone, it is don't be too monolithic about what's going on in your world, and then be able to back up and figure out how to do a collaborative approach to this. Because these people have put the Coleman Hugheses and all of those people, Candace Owens, they are not joking and playing the dozens. They have a concerted effort to keep their message in the forefront. We need to do the same and stop critiquing them. I think y'all got that potential. Much love to you, brothers. This is the old fool from the bunker. Be strong.
Peace, Otis.
From the
Peace.
bunker.
But you know what's interesting about what he said about
Mhm.
using even Dr. King to try to turn people against reparations. I saw a debate on Twitter that was happening between an Albion and the Senator Freeman. And what the Albion was saying was that Dr. King wasn't pro reparations. He was pro the poor people. He was on the poor people's campaign. Everything that he was talking about was poor people's campaign. And so when we keep using the quote from Dr. King saying that we coming to get our check, he was talking about the poor people's campaign. He wasn't talking about reparations, right? And so the brother who was debating the European cat, he had to keep going into from here, not from here to equality. Where do we go from here? He kept pulling from there to use King's words directly so he can show him this is what the man was saying. This is what he was talking about. But I understand exactly what Otis is saying because I saw it for myself. I saw the European, I was saying Albion. So I threw that word out there for people to look it up because I wanted people to look it up. But the Albion or the European was saying, he was trying to use Dr. King's words to say that he really wasn't for reparations, but he was just about poor people.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's crazy. I mean, you know, we are definitely like I always said, and we had a good roundabout discussion this past weekend with the family about running for political office, et cetera, et cetera. Um, this is a means to an end, right? The political discussion must happen, and we are looking to counter PragerU with our own form of it, Friedman U. The thing is, we're not going to be pushing propaganda. We're just going to be teaching the truth, the history. We're going to be empowering the hidden and lost stories of our ancestors and their greatness right here on this land. So we are definitely, you know, we're moving. We're moving in that direction. I don't want to talk about certain things on air, but we have some things that's working in the background right now. Some people really impressed with what we are striving to do in this fight for reparations, and things are moving. Things are moving. So you on mute, Josh?
Oh yeah, I was just trying to say. I hope everybody is familiar with what um, brother Otis was talking about in regards to Christopher Rufo, and it was a tweet that this dude made. This dude, he makes like documentaries and stuff. You know, he's really an anti. He's on the critical race theory destruction crusade or whatever, and trying to just make everything that's dealing with the conversation around race and exposing white supremacy fall under the umbrella of critical race theory. We talked about this a couple weeks ago or a couple programs ago or whatever, but I just want to bring up one of the tweets that he had, if I can share my screen for just a second, because this is this kind of goes to show you what did we? I don't think we showed this exactly before, but it kind of shows what exactly. Can y'all see this tweet right here?
Mm-hmm.
It says
Yes.
the goal is to have the public read something crazy in the newspaper and immediately think critical race theory. We have decodified the term and will recodify it to annex the entire range of cultural constructions that are unpopular with Americans. It was a whole series of tweets where he pretty much gave away the game. You know, this is just like the first one of those series. He gave away the game and like, oh damn, dude, you're not supposed to be telling the strategy like this. But he was bold and he just kind of gave away the game. I mean, that's what really what they've been running with. That's what they've been running with this whole time. It's like anything that's dealing with race, we just gonna. It says have the public read something crazy in the newspaper and immediately think critical race theory. So it says we will recodify it. We'll recodify it to annex the entire range of cultural constructions that are unpopular with Americans. In other words, when you get called out on things that are white supremacy, that lean towards a conversation of white supremacy, now you're going to get to push back against it. Oh, you're teaching critical race theory. No, we just showing you how your grandmama was throwing bricks at people that was marching. You know, we just showing how they was spitting on Ruby.
Hey,
You know,
that's your grandfather right there as a little kid in that picture,
you know what I'm saying?
smiling at the charred Negro body.
Yeah. Things that are. Yeah, I'm gonna stop the screen share though. Well, actually, I want to share one more thing. Hold on, I'm gonna reshare. Brother Otis, did you want to say something in regards to that?
Yeah, look, all I want to say is I tell you, young brothers, I got accused of being the Voltron guy. And y'all remember back, I tell you, because I'm fortunate. I had no idea I'd be around to circle the sun 67 years and run across young, bright minds like y'all. But I'm tell you something. Remember the first time we talked, and one of y'all said something about I talk cryptic, But then after you start realizing what was going on, and I told y'all I use hashtags like polls. So for years we talked about what would happen with somebody that y'all show. Y'all break down a lot of things that are going on that people realize, damn, they weren't just speculating, they actually understood what was going on here. Let me say this to you. Without calling any names, it's not a bunch of from 4 or 5 years talking to individuals, going to an inaugural conference and finding out that their goals aren't what they led me to believe they are. But at my age, when I look at what I've learned about life, I don't let disappointment from failures of human beings stop me from understanding my mission was righteous when I ran across them. They ain't got my best interest in mind. But along the way, I ran into people like y'all. This is what I'm saying to you. When I talk to y'all and I said things like that girl, Anwar, whoever she was, people said, oh, she's just an ignorant girl. She's selling jewelry on her site. And I talk to bright, intelligent people like y'all, 30, 35 years old. I'm saying, hold on. All of that could be true, but that's not what's relevant to what we've got going on. Our problem with her is she put out a product that can lead people on a false narrative. Do you understand your goal is to find bright young minds that can counter that narrative? Because you can't win this fight with just facts. You got to win this fight by making people understand how your plight defends itself, whether they believe it or not. So that means you have to continue to put your narrative out. I say to you, young guys, I saw some inspiration when I saw Josh interacting with his son. This is what I'm saying to y'all. I hope you got a little incubator thing going with your children that when I look up in 5 or 6 months, you have the teen version of this or the whatever the hell the name is, because, you know, I'm an old nigga, so every generation got their thing.
Yeah, they got the new names, right?
So
Gen Z.
You need to start your children on it now, because when you need that weapon to fortify the work that you're honing, you need that backup brigade ready. You can't just teach them at the last minute. You need to start involving them now. I don't care if it's once a month on a program like this, you know, giving them that ability to come out. Because I'll show you what I mean. I didn't pull up the link, but I wish I had. But I'll tell y'all about it.
Yeah, you went out, oh.
Oh, he dropped. Yeah, he don't know how on time he is with that.
Yeah,
don't know. We ain't gonna tell everything right now, but just understand, like, we working on some things.
Let me pull up something though, right? Let me pull up something real quick. I don't know if y'all remember. Like, and me and Josh, I don't know. Damn, did we talk about this today?
I think it was like yesterday or the day before. Yeah, you talking about the BTPU?
Yeah, man.
Yeah. See, I was like, that's he right on time. You don't even know it.
So we like, and I was, you know, I talked to my daughter yesterday. Let me pull this up real quick for the family. And this was a good thing, right? Because that's my daughter, one of my twins in the middle, that's right next to me. And you know, I had got them the reading From Here to Equality. And that's why we did the fundraiser to get all of them books and to give it to them. And I mean, you know, they little teenage stuff goes on, and then the next thing you know, ain't nobody speaking to each other and all of that stuff, which is why I want to do something in the terms of a confraternity, whereas we bring on our freedmen, men and women, et cetera, et cetera. But we had the BTP youth, and they had a good, powerful discussion. Is right here on the channel, and we are looking to bring that back. So yeah, I feel what Otis is saying, man. If we don't start our form of indoctrination,
right,
which isn't right, it isn't bad indoctrination. It isn't bad propaganda. It's real. Peace, Sister Riri.
Right.
I see you. You know,
I,
so
I was thinking the same thing, man. It's just it's hard, right, to get young people who actually show some sort of interest in what it is that we're talking about. You know, um, it, it's weird, man. Like, Macaroni Mac is one, right? He's always like, you know what I mean. He's younger. He's on it, right? But I'm talking like even people younger than Macaroni Mac. Right? How do we get them to show interest in the stuff that we're talking about? Because so far, the reparations movement and conversation, it appears to be one where it's mostly people that are older, and if there are younger people involved in it, they're usually like some kind of Black Lives Matter or something. It's always something weird going on with them, you know.
That was what I loved about the conversation with my daughter and her friends, was that, they looked at the Black Lives Matter thing for what it was. And they was like, you know what, man, look, we understand the concept, but we not necessarily rocking with the organization. So that was refreshing. Yeah,
Right.
Otis, what you got to say to that, O?
Hey, can y'all hear me now?
Yeah,
Yes.
much better.
Can you hear me?
Yes. You
Okay,
hear us?
yeah, I had to get closer to
All right.
Wi-Fi. Look, can you hear me?
Yes. We hear you.
Okay, look, I know I might have people might have lost concentration. What I want to go back and tell you guys is, for the first time I actually had contact with you all after being given credit for having discovered you and put it all together. I'd like to be able to monetize that feat, and we could all march
we
on with the
got a
fun.
royalty check for you, O.
Yeah, look, I'll tell you. Look, if the money was right, I'd be like the guy with that patent for penicillin. I sign it all over to y'all because I know with some money behind y'all get this job done. But this is what I'm saying to
That's
you.
a fact.
Over the last 4 or 5 years, we've watched how
Oh,
He was about to come with something
he
good.
about to go in. He about to go in.
He set it up, man. He just put the salt on it, and now we just thirsty.
That's funny.
Just left us
Hopefully
hanging, man.
he jumped back on.
Yeah.
He's gonna come back on.
I'm gonna just show y'all some images from this trip I went on. Well, no, I can't. Hold up. Let me get it set up first.
I
you
saw them in
saw?
the inbox, John. I was
Yeah.
looking at them. Yeah, those is nice.
Yeah.
Nice, man.
Yeah. I don't want to bring up our inbox right now, so that's why I just retract. Well, no, I can do this.
Drag it off the.
I got it.
On your
Hold up.
desktop or something.
Nah, I got it. I figured out what I'm gonna do. Hold up. Yeah, I'm about to share it. Right. Oh, there we go. All right, yeah, I'm gonna pull it up. I'm gonna just show y'all a real quick one. Oh, Otis, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, let's let Otis go in.
Let's go straight. Just go straight in. We don't know if it's gonna happen where you gonna get kicked off again. So go ahead.
You moving around. You moving around the bunker too much, O.
Look, I probably had to come in the house. I had to abandon the bunker, but I'm gonna give me one of them Wi-Fi extenders. Look, this is what I'm saying to you. Yeah, we went through years of stuff, and I'm gonna tell you the thing that really got me. 6-7 months ago, we heard about this Voltron stuff, and Dr. Darity had armed me to go out and get you guys. In other words, we're talking about narratives. We also saw some other narratives that were more important. We watched when ADOS first came out and made reparations a thing. We watched the establishment send out the gatekeepers, the Joy Reid, Charlie Martin, all of that. That's the reality of what's happened in the last 5 years. Now, I didn't know you guys in the first 3 or 4 years of that. But the interesting thing is when you came into it, and I backtracked and saw the interaction that had gone on 5 or 6 weeks before I found out who you guys were. The first time I talked to you, I told you, look, there's a thing y'all got to understand, and I'm going to say this with love, like Tavis said. Y'all some bright guys. But the interesting thing is, If you've made a decision 6 months ago, and then some other information comes along, the only thing I say to you all is, you might want to back up and say, well, okay, 6 months ago when I made that decision, I didn't know this thing, so I found out that I really didn't have the whole truth. Let me say what I mean. I witnessed that damn Antonio Moore go on Twitter and write some tweets to one of the most esteemed advocates for reparations over the last 3 decades, instructing him on what he needed to do in association with CBS. Now, I'm going to tell you what I found interesting, because I am that Negro, and I'm a little bit country, that people have to acknowledge. That man established credentials and credibility based on the expert research done by Dr. Derek. I applaud him because I had no idea by the time I get 60-some years old. One of the closest confidants I have now is Dr. Derek, and I've never pressed flesh with the man. But I've seen people use his work, then continue to attack him. I'll tell you an interesting thing. I lost contact with a good friend the first time they questioned me about that. I told him, I said, look, let me explain something to you. This whole dichotomy of whether or not Dr. Darity is selling out, because first he said 10 or 12 trillion, then it was 17 trillion. One interesting thing is, because you guys have read through it. I know it because the first time I heard him say it was about 11 years ago. He's always presented his work to say the floor, the minimum to close, the best way to satisfy whatever position you have on reparations for descendants of chattel slavery in America is a minimum of 10 to 12. Now, here's the interesting thing. You also know, after he finally came out with his book, that it has a little passage in it that talks about the 7-year journey that he and his life partner spent to do it. But I'm going to tell you an interesting thing that happened that really says that I don't have to tell you my opinion of anybody. You can watch what they've done. I've been blocked by Yvette Cornell and Antonio Brown, but I'm that Negro. I know on the interweb you can't hide from nobody. So I watched them, and I watched Yvette actually say in a tweet, basically, that not only is Darity welching on the number, but that somehow it is crazy that his wife would have any voice to saying what goes on with reparations. Now, I'm going to tell you something. I'm going to go ahead and tell you I'm that nigga. I tried to be patient. I watched it. I read it. I waited about 3 or 4 days. I'm going to tell you, I think I'm slipping, and the dementia shit might be trying to attack me. But I tried to be a good guy about this. But what happened is, I finally had to tell you guys, if you hadn't been so busy worried about telling people how to look up things like immigration effects on people, you'd have just read the jacket cover, and you would understand exactly how Kirsten Mullen has spent her life doing the actual work for reparations, even to the point that I found out something interesting when I look back on it, because I tell people, deconstruct it all. I ain't no smart nigga, but I stick with the basics. Where he Mr. Good, I'm going to go back and break it down to his last constable and syllable, because I got to also look at what your face looked like when you said it. I want the real message. Let me explain something to you. When you have somebody like Yvette, that implies that her ass, who was a Bernie Box follower, until all of a sudden Ta-Nehisi Coates wrote an article in 2014, and then it gnawed on her brain, and now she is the world's leader, divine, sit down upon her to lead us to reparation. Let me explain something to you. I don't know for sure what the motivation is, but I was told by an old black guy in a barbershop when I was about 12 years old. He was talking to me about some shit that was going on with Lyndon Johnson. And you know what he told me? He said, Marty, you don't understand. When you become an adult, there ain't but two things that motivate you. That's sex and money. You know, sex in this. So somebody making some money. Be strong, my young brother. Be strong.
Talk to him. See, we shout out to Otis. We decided that we was gonna chill because we see that the people are trying to take their little attacks. People trying to with their little tweets, and I'm just at the point where let me not say what I'm gonna say.
Yeah.
Let me
Listen.
not say what I'm gonna say.
Go ahead, Augie. Go ahead, because I want to say something, but go ahead, bro.
Well, here's the thing.
I ain't gonna keep doing no Twitter back and forth.
No.
So that I'm just talking about me and what I was gonna say. So I'm just not gonna keep doing that.
Right, because that's all of this is design. That stuff is designed for that. It's to it's come on. Like, we know the game. 50 Cent laid that shit out years ago. This is the same play 50 been doing, man. Like, I'm gonna come in the game, I'm gonna come at this one, come at that one. You know what I'm saying? If I can't be friends with you, then if I can't be friends with you, then it's just as good to be fighting with you. Like, no. We already see the play. I don't care. We've been there, done that, did that. That shit is back there. I don't give a goddamn about what they saying, man. That's just me. You know what I mean? Go ahead, Josh. You could go in, but that's just my position.
Yeah, I mean, like, well, I feel like what we're doing is, and what we have been doing over the past year has been like powerful, moving the family forward, like think about I hate to, we gotta, let's just keep it real. Like, what have we been talking about? Like, what have we really done? We have been talking about, from here to equality. We started out on that tip. We started talking about HR 40, exposing that. We started talking about we talking about a whole lot of stuff, y'all. Like, we brought a whole lot to the forefront. We talking about freedmen. We brought the freedmen language back and started talking about and teaching on how Reconstruction was overthrown, and the official title or name that our people were known as through government agencies is freedmen. We broke down, like, we pulled out old reparations bill. We talking about HR 29. We brought a whole lot of stuff out, and we brought forth the back home strategy. Like, that's probably the most powerful. We don't have the numbers behind it yet, but this has only been a few months. But that that's probably the most powerful thing that anybody is advocating for right now, that in terms of getting that started, because I don't see any other way other than that for us to manifest what we need to manifest, and for us to have political relevancy moving forward, unless we get that done. In the meantime, like, you didn't hear anybody else on that. You didn't hear any other prominent groups talking about this type of stuff. Like, and this is not to toot BTP horn, but the only reason I'm saying that is to say, like, when you have to go back and forth and you fighting other people, you can't really get stuff done. If you look at all the strategy in Europe, the strategy of European nations for African countries, in other countries, not just African countries, is to always keep them fighting. Like, let me give you an example. I remember it was a movie with Nicolas Cage, Lord of War. You remember that movie?
Oh yeah.
And he was selling guns and stuff to both sides. So the deal is to keep them fighting and keep them profiting and keep them in a desperation mode, so you can exploit. He was getting diamonds and stuff like it was nothing. Like, you can get anything. People are desperate. They'll pay you high price for them guns. They'll pay you high price. I mean, they'll give away diamonds so you can get them some weapons, right? When you have a stable society, they're not just giving away precious resources for that. Matter of fact, they build their own guns. So my point in saying all that is, when you're fighting, you can't really be building, because you're fighting. You're willing to sacrifice what you done built to survive and to win the fight. That's if you're always in fighting, you're always look at the countries that's always in
That's right,
fighting. You're
Josh.
not going to be countries where it's your country where you want to live. It's not going to be a country where it's improving and building and growing infrastructure. No, you're going to see war-torn areas and child rebel soldiers and all kind of lawlessness and rape and like debauchery. All kind of terrible things are going to be going on in that society. You can't always be fighting, and we're trying to build. So if somebody's trying to push us into the fight, what they're trying to say is we're trying to stop you from building, and we're not trying to let other people stop us from building. So that's why we're trying to stay focused on what we're doing. We're actually trying to achieve goals. We're actually trying to help move the reparation cause closer to fruition. You know what I'm saying? One more thing, brother. And when you look at BTP, like what you see, you don't see BTP in a whole lot of internal beefs with the family. Even if we had y'all, a lot of y'all may not even be privy to some things. Like we may have disagreements with part of the family across the nation. But what we do is we hash things out. We make sure everybody's good. Like we understand it's gonna take unity. We've been talking about unity for a minute, and you can't have unity. You can't have unity if you always treating people like crap. You can't have unity if you don't care if things don't get resolved. You know what I'm saying? And we've been on that since the beginning. So like we're trying to build, we're trying to have a united front with those who share the same vision, the same cause. We may not all have the same personality and insignificant beliefs, whether it be religion or whether it be whatever the case may be. But when it comes to this stuff, reparations and seeing our specific group being uplifted, we're working together and we're trying to do what needs to be done to make sure we're working together to reach the end. And anybody trying to disrupt that, they are really positioning themselves as the enemy, and they need to be seen in that light.
Like right now, Brother Marlon Watson, shout out to Brother Marlon Watson from the Freedmen Society of Chicago, is engaged in a walk with other groups of Chicagoans from Chicago to Washington, D.C., family. Make sure y'all go on Marlon Watson's page, whether it's Twitter or Facebook, and show some support for their march. They have a fundraiser going on right now. So y'all make sure y'all show some support. We, a couple of us on Be the Power have showed the brother some support because we realized that hey, look, I'm gonna share something with brother Marlon said. He was like, I was ready to go with y'all too. You know what I'm saying? He was like, Sister Cynthia and Arthur was like, nah, them brothers is real. Let's like just fall back and analyze them and see. And then Brother Marlon looks like, damn, all right, them dudes is cool. You see what I'm saying? So like Brother Josh said, that y'all, Brother Marlon is on a walk from Chicago to Washington, D.C. as we speak right now. And it's so crazy. I had proposed something like that years ago. I was talking about a march and my march was crazy, from New York to California, all the way from the East Coast to the West Coast, bringing attention to our issues as a people. So as soon as I heard the idea, I loved it. And they marching, they walking. They are literally walking, and they're stopping in cities. I seen earlier, they were on live. They stopped in Gary, Indiana. I believe that was the mayor of Gary, Indiana they were talking to. So it's about violence. Cato says it's about violence, not reparations. Well, that's the walk, but when you listen to the live that Brother Marlon is doing, all he's been talking about is reparations. He's talking about reparations and freedmen with everybody he's coming across. So, but the violence has to be addressed. The violence definitely has to be addressed. So, yeah, I mean, Sister Riri said, I wish I could do that. Yeah, I think we can do that. Why not? Like anything that we can do to bring more light to our plight, it should be done. Even with the violence thing. Violence is going crazy in the United States of America right now. Our reparations fight is a uphill battle, and we know that. But we need some type of intervention right now. You know, we need something. We need something. Let me see.
I wanted to share
Cato,
my. Go ahead.
Cato said, "Is there a reparations event occurring in D.C., y'all, on the day of the Million Man March?" We're trying to plan something now. Right now it's looking up. You know, we want to get some more feedback from everybody. It's short notice, and you know, I made the proposal to somebody I can't remember. They was like, it's so soon. You know, but I understand. You know, yeah. Go ahead, Josh.
Oh, can you see my screen?
Oh yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I made a trip, man. I ain't gonna tell y'all the whole story. But you know, it was a family, it was a certain situation where my family and my wife's family had a common ancestor who was or common ancestors who was in the same town, this small little town in Mecklenburg. That's where my grandparents, my great grandparents on my mother's side is from, and her great grandfather visited America from Africa to go to school in this little small town. And I was like, man, so they wanted to go see where their great grandfather was. And I was like, well, shoot, I want to see where mine was too, you know? Now they knew where theirs was. I still don't know where mine was. A funny side story is they still have a family reunion for that side of my family in that town. And the black side of the family goes to the family reunion with the white side of the family. I thought that was crazy. I'm trying to find out when the next one is like that. I don't know if y'all have any families that do like that, but I got to crash the next one. I just got to see how that's gonna work out, because them conversations got it. I'm like, bro, like y'all do know that we have the same last name because of used to own us, right? Like, how does that conversation go? I don't know, but what you're looking at right now is a marker on the side of what is Jefferson Davis Highway. I don't know. I think they changed to Washington Highway in some parts of Virginia, but this was erected by the Boydton chapter. This is in Mecklenburg County of the the Boydton chapter, United Daughters of the Confederacy, 1929. I just thought that was these are just some pictures I took. This is a mile marker, the old Randolph-Macon College, and this is like the ruins. This is the ruins. This is my sign. This is the ruins, and this is an old Confederate grave of it says presented by the Boydton chapter of the United Daughters of the Confederacy, honoring our Confederate soldiers. It says love makes memory eternal. Yeah, this right here was crazy because it was just a bunch of Confederate graves, and then we see this is like the old college, Boydton Academic and Bible Institute, that was turned to this. Like they just let it collapse. And but I wanted to show y'all what also was in this part of town. Can y'all see this? I know you probably can't hear it, but this is that Confederate flag, the Confederate battle flag, and the Don't Tread on Me flag. That's right down like a mile down the road from that, if maybe less than a mile. So that just shows you, like, that's the part of the country that I was in. And this is like rural America. This is rural Virginia. What we are doing, that's why we are working with the United Sons and Daughters of Freedmen, because we need to counter the teachings of the lost cause, right? We need to counter the works of the lost cause, you know. And I was thinking about taking, the family to see like Monument Avenue in Richmond. Then I was like, oh damn, I forgot. They took those statues down, right? They took the statue of Robert E. Lee and them down. And I'm like, well, at first I'm like, that was always good, right? That's always good, but they need to be replaced. I need to get back involved with understanding what's going on and what's going on down there. But those statues need to be replaced, because now, like, when you take, like, let's say immigrants, right, and they come to America, like, you need somebody to show them what happened. When they see the loser, the party that lost the war. When I say party, I'm talking about just a group, not political party. But you see, like, Confederates lost the war, but then they got statues and monuments erected. It's kind of confusing. So, okay, you take those down, but now you don't even have a place to start a conversation because there's nothing in this place. When there should be something, it should be freedmen in them statues. So just like the Lost Cause in the Lost Cause organization, Sons of the Confederate Veterans and United Daughters of Confederate had statues erected to memorialize the Confederates. I think the United Sons and Daughters of the Freedmen should be pushing to get statues erected of the freedmen, in replacing those Confederates. What do y'all think about that?
Oh, definitely, man. Definitely. That's the goal.
So we need to be building to see which ones, who we gonna put where, and all that stuff like that, just like they was doing. That's how we reverse that stuff, man.
Let me play this video by Kato, and then we're gonna close this. I've been sitting in this chair for hours. I've been doing a lot of research and putting some things together, and then I had to do this live stream. So I've been here for hours. Let me play this video from Kato.
Go ahead.
See.
I was born in Savannah, Georgia, and I have lived in this area.
All right, what's going on? Froze.
Oh man, shout out to Kato. Oh man, I wish this joint would come through.
Yeah, my whole Chrome just
send me the link. Maybe I can share it.
I can't even get back to Chrome. Like I can't get back to stream, y'all. I can't even click on any of the tabs or nothing.
Oh man. Can you do it on your phone? Can you send me the link on the phone, into the inbox on the phone?
Yeah, but I still can't. I can't get back to
your screen is frozen. Oh man, he probably gonna hop back in. His screen is frozen. Yeah, I guess it still says I'm on live. Yeah, man, that's what I'm saying. Like, who else should be doing that? If it was the Lost Cause organizations to erect those monuments of the Confederates, then it should be the United Sons and Daughters of Freedmen and other freedmen organizations that need to be pushing to have those replaced. That's just like, it's so much work to do. It's so much work to do. Obviously, reparations is in the forefront. That's number one. But it's so much work to do, and it's so few people, trying to do the work. There's so few people trying to do the work. Shout out to everybody that is trying to do the work, though. Damn, if I was at the top, I wish I had Naheem's credentials so I could share this thing myself. Kato, if you got the link to that, shoot it to me. I'm gonna see if I can play it. But yeah, say a bunch of white militias in Michigan. Once you leave liberal suburbs, you're in Hicksville. Yeah. It's crazy in Virginia because you just have to assume that you in that area. If you're in a rural area, you just automatically assume you already know what it is. And my family is from Brunswick County, Mecklenburg County, on my mama's side, and then on my father's side, you know, it was my grandmother's from Oklahoma, and my grandfather he's from Arkansas and Missouri. So it's crazy.
Yep.
The freedom
Can you hear me, Josh?
Oh, I can hear you. I can hear you.
Yeah, my whole Google Chrome just froze. I just had to jump on my phone. I don't know what the hell just happened.
Yeah.
I don't know what just happened. But don't worry, Kato. We gonna definitely play you on the next live stream.
Yeah.
You already know. I don't know what's going on. My Chrome just froze on me.
Yeah, I'm the captain now. Nah, man, we probably about to shut it down in a few minutes. Oh, Kato just sent me the link. Is it a way I can share it, or do I need you to approve it?
Or what?
The link to Kato, where Kato was on the program.
Well, it's on Twitter.
Okay.
I'll put it in our inbox.
Okay. All right. He said he just sent it to me. Let me see. If you.
All right, well, we're gonna shut this joint down, man. Oh, you gonna try to share it?
Yeah, I was trying to share it. I was just trying to see.
All right, but that's the whole thing, trying to share it from my phone.
Yeah.
I don't know how to do the share from my phone.
Yeah. Okay, though, where did you send it to me at, so I can find it?
But I'll put it in our inbox.
Oh, you did? Oh, okay. Hold on. Let me get it then. Let me get it. I can play it. I just want to see if you can approve it.
Well, try to share it. Now, I think if it comes up under guests, I might be able to share it from the phone.
Share audio. All right, cool. Let me know if y'all can see it. Replace the Confederate statues with statues of freedmen soldiers of that era.
Okay, I can.
Black. Okay, great.
Is it up?
Yeah.
All right, I figured it out.
No, I agree with that, Tansy. All right, let me play this Cato piece here.
Okay, well, I'm not here to speak against this Boys and Girls Club.
Hold on. Let me start from the beginning.
That's what I tried to do. I tried to start from the beginning and it
bring great
locked
Dixon
up on me.
Modem. This is Dixon. Mr. Dixon.
Oh,
hello, everyone. My name is Greg Marcel Dixon. I was born in Savannah, Georgia, and I have lived in this area my entire life. I would like to be able to see my entire comment because I will get to the point I'm trying to make. I'm not here. You have 2 minutes, sir. Okay, well, I'm not here to speak against this Boys and Girls Club. I like the Boys and Girls Club. I'm an educator. I know how important it is for our kids to have activities in which to engage after school. I'm here to speak on a larger issue. It gives me chills down my spine when I hear about land that was set aside for residential use that's going to be now used for office industrial use. Savannah, Georgia is 54% black, okay? But almost 70% of the homeless population of Savannah, Georgia are Black Americans. Black Americans have the lowest income in Savannah, Georgia, okay? And yet, Mayor Johnson, you have an OLA economic task force to make sure that Hispanic residents are getting their due. You have a task force for LGBTQ citizens, but I do not see any task force for the Black American citizens who are descendants of the people that built Savannah, Georgia.
Talk to him, Cato. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about, Cato. That's what I'm talking about. Straight like that. So we got some Trinidadian in the chat trying to troll. That's funny.
Oh, I didn't even see that. Hold on.
Hey, everybody put American flags in the chat. Let them know we Americans. We freemen first. Let's put some American flags in the chat.
Was they trolling? I don't know what that TTT is. What's that?
I don't know. It looked like trolling to me.
Oh, okay. Well, you know, it is what it is. Yeah, but was that right there? Oh, love. Okay, love back at you.
Oh, that was love?
It
They
said
said?
love from Trinidad and Tobago.
Okay,
Okay.
cool. Long as it's love. Long as it's
Yeah.
love.
Yeah,
Long as it's love.
love back at you.
But we seen the people responding earlier or to Tariq Nasheed's post.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I'm like, okay, well, what's going on here? What's
Yeah.
going on here? I seen the troll. So we
Yeah.
just want to reciprocate. We just want to reciprocate some of that love. All right, so look, man, we about to end this thing, family. We 2.5 hours in. We touched on tonight Michael B. Jordan basically being forced to rename the rum that he's invested in because the people of Trinidad got mad about it, which I don't know. I don't understand why, other than, in my opinion, the fact that it's a Black American man. Because if it was a sister, I don't know if it would have been the same. I don't know. But our Black American men get it from everybody, including our own, including the people that look like us from other places. We also touched on the fact that voter suppression is going on in this country. The Neo-Confederates have a new slogan called Take Back America, where they will be that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to take over America. And I don't know, I think our next live stream should be, I think we need to get back into the Southern strategy, Josh, and just have a discussion on that. We have some things going on behind the scenes. You know, we setting up the battle plans right now. We're setting up some battle plans right now. So, you know, I'm just saying, fam, we're setting up some battle plans. So tune in tomorrow night. We should have an interesting conversation. My brothers, we're gonna do a critique on Prophet Noble Drew Ali. This should be good. This should be really, really interesting for my Moorish brothers out there, right? So we're gonna do that tomorrow night. I think we're gonna start that stream around 8 o'clock. So I will definitely keep y'all posted on that. So, oh yeah. We on deck, CG Bay. I'm letting you know tomorrow night is gonna be a critique done on Prophet Noble Drew Ali. We critiqued Malcolm, we critiqued Elijah. Noble Drew Ali is on deck. So let me close this thing out, family. Let me close this thing out. Yeah, I retweeted it, Muffin Nellen. I retweeted the meeting on Twitter. So you should see it on my wall.
Oh, hold up. My bad, bro. I just seen that it's like another part to Kato's video. It's like three parts. I think we should. You don't mind if we just play the rest and then we close it out?
No, go ahead.
All right, hold up. Let me share it again. Because I want to hear the rest of what he was saying. Hold on. Let me play this joint. All right, so I played the first one. That's part one. This is part two.
They lead the Boys and Girls Club. What type of condition of Black American citizens who are descendants of the people that built Savannah, Georgia, whose culture, the Geechee culture, is used to bring billions and billions of dollars to Savannah, Georgia. So my question and my concern is, where is the task force for these Black American citizens? Why is this residential land not going to be used to provide housing for the 70% of the population, homeless population of Savannah, Georgia, that look like me? Where's their task force? Where's their affordable housing? The Boys and Girls Club is nice, but after they leave the Boys and Girls Club, what type of condition are those children, the Black American children of Savannah, Georgia, what type of conditions are they going to go to? And Mayor Johnson, you have not, as far as I know, come out in support of reparations for Black Americans who are descendants of slaves. All of this ties into this issue because we know that Black Americans with their low income and being the 70% of the homeless population, 61% of the people living in poverty, Savannah, Georgia, they need adequate housing along with other things. So all this is tied back to our history. Where is our task force? Where is our affordable housing? Boys and Girls Club is nice, but we have to live before we get there and after we leave from there. So can you please help me understand this?
Sure. First of all, thank you for coming. Secondly, let's be very clear. This is not about task forces, but since you asked, if you look at our city council, in a majority African-American city, 7 of our 9 members are African-American. We are the task force.
I need Black policies, not Black people.
We're making the policy. 7 of these 9 members of councils are.
Hold up.
That's crazy.
What is that? Oh, I gotta run that back. Hold up, bro. I don't need to say that.
Where's our affordable housing? Boys and Girls Club is nice, but we have to live before we get there and after we leave from there. So can you please help me understand this?
Sure. First of all, thank you for coming. Secondly, let's be very clear. This is not about task forces, but since you asked, if you look at our city council, in a majority African-American city, 7 of our 9 members are African-American. We are the task force.
I need Black policies, not Black people.
We're making the policy. 7 of these 9 members of councils are.
So basically, he's saying we're Black, so we don't have to do anything. We don't have to set up anything on paper. You just have to, it's the same concept of Obama is your reparations.
Hey, or Jay-Z saying,
just my presence here alone.
My presence is my charity. Something this dude said. Yo, that's crazy. Oh right. we gonna mobilize and get him out, Kato. I'm 4 hours away from Savannah.
Go ahead.
My bad. I was trying to sneak a snack in between talking.
You good? I want to say, see, if a white person said that, you would be up in arms. You'd be like, what? But so why does he get to say it? If a white person
that's right
said, well, I don't need to make no task force for you. I'm just gonna put some Negroes in there. You would be like, hell no, you done lost your mind. I can't believe you coming out and saying this. But thank you for being honest, because that's how we know that y'all be doing. But they would never come and say that. So why is this dude thinking that he can say that? Number one, and like, is he trying to imply just because people are Black that we shouldn't have any expectations for them, and there should be no structure set up? And guess what? What if you lose and you get a racist white person back in there? Something, whatever the case may be. You get somebody else who don't care. There's nothing set up. If once you get the Black faces out, there's nothing set up to make sure that that's the case. And why is it that things get set up for other groups but not us? Like, that doesn't make any kind of sense at all. That makes no kind of sense at all. Because anytime you set up task force and it's special recognition, it's money going into the program. So what you're saying, there's no special consideration, recognition, or money going to no program for us. That's BS. Anyway, let's go to the next one.
Of these 9 members of councils are African American. Our task force groups. Listen, our task force is for groups that are underrepresented, firstly. Secondly, there's no issue regarding the city of Savannah and not in a position to pay reparations. As you know, that is a state and perhaps a national issue. Thirdly, as it relates to affordable housing, we have an affordable housing task force in which we're providing affordable housing.
That was real
and most
what he did there.
importantly, this property is owned by the Roman Catholic Diocese of Savannah, Georgia. It's not owned by the city of Savannah, and this is the Roman Catholic Diocese who has entered into a private transaction to be able to rezone this property for the Frank Callan Boys and Girls Club. This property currently is not occupied by any residential, and I think that the residents of Liberty City have made it absolutely clear that if we're going to get past some of the criminality issues that we're having and building strong young men and women in our community, that they need mentoring and they need the things to do. And so well, the city of Savannah has got
fellow mayors have come out and supported reparations on the federal level. Your fellow mayors have said to the federal government to support reparations.
Mr. Dixon.
When are you going to do this thing in majority black cities?
Mr. Dixon, we thank you for your comments. But as it goes to this, thank you for your comments. So finally, this is between the Roman Catholics, Diocese, and the Frank Callan Boys and Girls Club, for which.
You peeped the little slick thing he did?
He tried to.
Because Cato said, you don't speak out. I've never heard you speak about reparations. He tried to kind of throw some little slick stuff in there, little redirection, right? And say the city of Savannah can't do reparations. That would be something that's done at the state and federal level, yada, yada, yada. I'm like, nah, that's not what he said. He didn't say nothing about the city. Cato ain't say nothing about the city of Savannah paying reparations. These people crazy.
Yeah, man. And if I said Savannah is 53% black. So what is the problem like with this dude being like saying anything? Why you can't say something positive about reparations? Number one, why didn't you join in favor of reparations, or come out and make a statement in favor of reparations? What, like, you have a majority black city, so are you saying that you're being put in office and funded by white folks for the most part? So whose agenda are you trying to carry out? Because it don't sound like you carrying out ours. It don't sound like that at all to me. And if white mayors in racist cities, I should say that because most of these cities is racist, especially in the South. But if white mayors are coming out in places like Kentucky and other places around the country, why you can't do it? What's stopping you from doing that? And just dodging saying it's the state and perhaps the federal level. Yeah, we know that, but we need you to come out and say that. That's power. That's powerful when you do that. And when you don't want to do that and you show resistance to doing that, and you want to dodge by saying, well, that's the state and federal, that's what everybody does. That's what when Joe Biden was talking about the crime bill and having to account for the crime bill, he was saying, well, no, it was the states. We had the states. It was there. It was how they implemented it. And it was really the states that locked people. Most state prison and most people were getting locked up, and not even the federal prison. That didn't have anything. That's the same. They always try to pass the buck. So no, you don't get to pass the buck on that. And I'm gonna play the last one.
Thank you so much, and we appreciate
the federal government.
So, Alderwoman Shabazz.
Federal government. You can.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. On item number 18, which is
club, for which they have met extensively with the community, and which I participated in at least one of those meetings, and that is what council is before us right now.
Okay, so please release the statement.
No, Matt, you've had your 2 minutes.
Please release the public.
So thank you so much, and we appreciate
the federal government.
So, Alderwoman Shabazz.
Federal government. You can.
Damn.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. On item number 18,
All right.
Which is
Club, for which they have met extensively.
All right. So I don't know, man. Naheem, what you think? What y'all think? I'm trying to read some of these comments. Hold, let me stop. This is in my ear.
Oh yeah, I mean, you know, we have one brother that used to do that, and I mean, you know, some people they chose the side that they chose. Some people they want to run with the.
Oh,
well, we the truth over here. Let me just put it like that. we the truth over here. We, no character deficiencies and flaws or none of those things. No one way this minute and the next way the next minute. No wishy-washy folks up over here. So, you know, people going to do what they do. You know, some people going to attract to what they naturally are in the first place.
Yeah, that would be cool if Kato could come and explain, you know, or you know, just share some more light, maybe say some things.
Yeah, but not right now.
No. I know we finna get off. I know we finna get off. Yeah.
John's ready to
I ain't trying to egg you on right now. I'm just, you know, I would like to hear some more context. Maybe we'll save that for another program. But yeah, but shout out to you, Kato, for
shout out to Kato, man.
Real to these people that they're not used to people speaking about. They're not used to having to answer questions like that. They just say, they let you say your little piece. They try to dodge and do misdirection, and then they just set you up and got you up out of there. But we heard it. We heard you made them say some things on there that really bring to light how most people view their own standing in that office, to make them view their place. Like, look, we're just here to be the black face. We're not really here to do anything, and you shouldn't expect anything from me. You should just believe that I may do something for you, you know, just because I'm a black person. I don't need to set up no task force just for you, because just by me being here, you just got to wait and see what I do, right? And then when they don't do nothing, then they make excuses. Well, I couldn't do nothing. It was the Catholic Church. It was the state. We ain't got time for that. So shout out to you, because anybody, that's how like all interactions with all of these mayors need to be. Keep their feet to the fire, because they just want to keep collecting checks and get reelected and not having to do anything that is going to piss off some people that may be continuing to refund their campaigns. You ready to roll out though, Brother Naheem? You want to hit him with the motto of the platform?
Oh yeah, y'all already know what it is. Don't just fight the power, become the power, and then and only then will you have the power to make a change. And with that, I say peace.
Peace.